equinox, and it is one of the 2 times each year that we have both equal day and night. So today we're going to be using an oracle deck. This particular one is called Althea, and it was created by Jenny Martinson and her small business, Marsons. Now this is a very large factor deck. The cards are very, very large in the art on them. It's very beautiful. It shows many herbs and small plants. the spread we're going to be using today is from a book, 365 Tarot Spreads by Sasha Gray. The spread is called the Ostara Serpent Magic Spread. So on this day, Ostara is the Anglo-Saxon spelling of the name for the Germanic deity of spring. Her attributes include eggs, babies, and bunnies, coinciding with Easter, but holding pagan rather than Christian resonance. The summation of the spread. Spring, in addition to its fertility rites, marks the awakening of all slumbering creatures, ideas, and plans. In Scotland, Highlanders traditionally bound the ground with a stick until a serpent emerged. The reptile's behaviour gave an indication of how early spring would come. The Ostara Serpent Magic Spread seeks to discover what slumbers within you. Casting the cards. An excellent spread to perform on a warm spring day. Be sure not to rush through it. Arrive at specific answers to each question before moving ahead. Cast the cards as a snake uncoiling itself. So 1. What is reborn this year? 2. How do I activate my passion? 3. How can I stimulate my intellect? 4. What must become conscious? 5. How do I become an active participant in my life? 6. What does metamorphosis mean to me? 7. What can I uncoil and free? And 8. What message does the serpent whisper in my ear? Then we have some extra information on the right. This says Germanic tribes that honoured Ostara, a lunar goddess, explain how she mates with her fertility god at this time of year. She gives birth 9 months later during the Yule celebration. Then it also says the Judgment card is the card of resurrection and metamorphosis. While an awakening of consciousness may occur any time, spring provokes a general sense of renewal As per the name, lovage roots have been widely used for love spells. Women over the ages have used lovage roots to attract new love in their life. These roots also symbolize passion and sexuality. You can add these roots to your bath water for a week to improve chemistry with your partner. Passion is significant in romantic relationships, but passion is not all it takes to make a relationship work. You can work to improve the chemistry between you and your partner all day long, but if you and your partner are incompatible, the relationship will not last long. This card encourages you to take a hard look at all your relationships, romantic and otherwise. The time has come to let go of all the connections in your life that no longer serve you. It may be a difficult experience at first, but letting go of what no longer serves you will help you welcome new connections in your life. This card also asks you to follow your heart's desires. If you have to choose between your mind and your heart, it is time to choose your heart. It will not be easy. However, ultimately, following your heart is the right thing to do in any situation. You already know it. Why not finally do it? So, with the kind of position for this card being what is reborn this year, we could be looking at passion. So either with a partner or just passion for a hobby, passion for life, passion for your work, anything like that. Could also be talking about this welcoming new connections into your life. What is reborn? New connections. Could also be listening to your heart again. Could be you used to listen to your heart more often than your mind. And then things happen, things change. You start listening to your mind more and more than your heart. So it would be time again this year to be listening to your heart. The next card is, how do I activate my passion? it's time to focus on steady growth. In a relationship, whether long-term or new, now is a good time to add something. Be sure that your trust has been strengthened and confirmed many times in the past, and enjoy new experiences together. Arnica belongs to the sunflower family. The yellow flowers are often associated with the element of fire and the sun. They are toxic, so they should never be smoked, consumed, or applied to open wounds. In herbal medicine, these flowers are used for inflammation, muscle aches, and bruises. Spiritually, Arnica represents the energy of the summer season. Summer represents warmth, happiness, and lightheartedness. If you have been feeling gloomy lately, or you think that you could use some fun time with friends, why not try a summer spell with Arnica flowers? In an empty bowl or jar, add some lemon juice and a few Arnica flowers. You can use both fresh flowers and dried herbs for this spell. Squeeze some lemon juice on top. Add some mint leaves as well if you have them. Hold this bowl or jar near your heart using both hands and call on your guides. Imagine yellow light radiating from these flowers and enveloping your aura. Think of your childhood best friend and ask for similar energy to enter your life. Visualize yourself bonding and spending quality time with a new friend. Discard the content of the bowl or jar carefully. Please do not consume for safety reasons. So, for how to activate your passion, talking a lot about warmth, happiness, and lighthearted from that summer energy. So maybe trying to bring in more warmth, even more kindness to yourself. And that, whatever your passion may be, you are doing a good job of it. Allowing yourself just to be happy. You don't have to get to a specific place or to a specific skill level or anything like that. What you're doing is already perfect. You're already on the path you're meant to be on. It also talks about having time with friends. And it does suggest this spell. But it can just be that, spending time with friends. It could be talking with people about how you feel and what you want, what your passion is, what your ideas are. They may be able to help you, or they may just encourage you. Which is what true friends will do for you. mindfulness. Strikingly similar to dandelions, this flower has very familiar properties. After the shoot rises from the seeds, the flowers generally grow before the leaves. This flower reminds us to embrace our uniqueness. Coltsfoot is also one of the first flowers to bloom in early spring. It spreads pretty quickly, so it has to grow in confined spaces or pots. It's often used in bulk for rituals, magic, and spells. Predominantly, coltsfoot is used in teas for cough and cold. It's used as a tobacco substitute for smoking. The yellow colour of the flower reminds us to be creative and fun-loving. If you've been feeling sad and upset and need some laughter in your life, consider inviting the spirit of coltsfoot into your life. The flower is also a symbol of welcoming new opportunities in your life. It's time to let the past go and be open to what the future has in store for you. Coltsfoot is also used in balms to heal wounds. The flower, like dandelion, is typically considered a weed. Everything in nature has a purpose, whether it benefits us or not. Sometimes it's difficult to acknowledge that, but humans need to understand that not everything revolves around us. We don't get to be the ones assigning purpose to everything that exists. Some things are beyond our knowledge, and we need to learn to appreciate the mystery of it. The spirit of coltsfoot reminds us of things that are out of the scope of human understanding and knowledge. Thus, this flower can be used in divination for connecting with supernatural energies and entities. Coltsfoot reminds us that the magic of the earth is omnipresent and always available for us to access if we choose to let go of ego and listen to the subtle messages that the earth gives us through its wonderful creatures, including plants, insects, and animals. So, we've got to talk of embracing our uniqueness. That may be what you are interested in and can help to awaken your intellect is something that seems a little odd or off the beaten path, not typical, something like that, but that doesn't mean that it is lesser or that it's weird or not worth being interested in. That would make us all incredibly boring if we never did anything that was slightly out of the ordinary. I also think that maybe some of this, appreciating the knowledge that we will never know, and kind of letting those kind of thoughts of how does this work or how does that happen, even if we may never properly know, could kind of awaken that want and that drive to find things out and to understand. And to me, knowing that there are things that we will never understand, we won't know its true purpose, it doesn't deter me from wanting to know more and discover more. It drives me more to find out what I can, to learn what I can, while still appreciating that there is a glass ceiling on it. That makes sense. There's also an area down here. messages that we can receive. So maybe appreciating the earth and the wonderful things that come from the earth could also help to awaken some intellect with appreciating what we have. So number 4 is what must become conscious. So here we have witch hazel, number 14. And we can see some of the funny shaped flowers that witch hazel produces. The petals kind of look like weird little spaghetti. The petals are very long and thin, and they kind of just fold and bend and curl in weird ways. They don't look traditionally like flowers. Then we have a series of large and slightly smaller leaves. Some of them are dark green and others are a beautiful orange. And this one says, trust your intuition. Down bell is going. So you can see up here, it says intuition for this card in general. So, witch hazel is a powerful herbal astringent and antioxidant. It is effective against wrinkles and is also helpful for maintaining skin tone. It's often used in aromatherapy for making sprays. Witch hazel is believed to improve psychic abilities and is the perfect ingredient to use in beauty spells. It's also an anti-inflammatory. If you've been dealing with a conflict, this herb can help you with perspective and seeing different sides of the story. Witch hazel is excellent for activating your third eye and can help you with shifting to trance states easily. If you are asking about a specific situation, this card indicates that you know the answer you're seeking. Trust your intuition. Only you know what's best for you. Your intuition is the key to unlocking the answers you need. To access your intuition, simply focus on your heart for a few seconds and let it answer all the questions you have in mind. Accessing your intuition doesn't have to be complicated. Just give yourself time to be able to hear your heart. Sometimes we confuse fearful thoughts with intuition. To avoid doing that, try taking the pressure off. The answers don't need to come right now, or even within a day. If you're scared, why not address your fears or doubts or concerns before you ask the questions? Just put the questions out there for your heart to answer and allow the answers to come at the right time. also be your intuition and working on it. And the more familiar you become with your intuition, you'll start to notice that it sounds or feels different than fear. And this fear that she's talking about, that it can be easy to confuse your intuition with fearful thoughts. But over time you start to learn that they feel different. So you could be looking at two answers. Either that is love. Know that your intentions are pure and will serve the world. You may think that one person cannot make a difference, but we must realize that everything is connected, and that even with the smallest gestures, we can be an example to others. How do I become an active participant in my life? Remembering the true purpose, I think, could be tied to the fact that you are alive right now on this spinning rock that has the perfect conditions for you to live, and that you are alive out of millions and millions who did not. The likelihood is astronomical. And in hundreds of thousands of years, we humans will have just been a blip in the solar system, a blip on this planet. So at the end of the day, does it matter if you did perfectly on a test? Does it matter if you got a brilliant report from work? Do these things matter? Of course, some things do matter to be able to live a happy enough life, but also that some things aren't as important as we think they are, as we're told that they are. And so focusing on that absolutely astronomical likelihood of you being alive right now, and that you should take advantage of what this life has available for you, could be a way to become an active participant in your life, not just letting things happen to you, but going out and seeking happiness, seeking experiences. And that experience could just be going for a walk in a new suburb, a new park. It could be volunteering at a local shelter, like an animal shelter. Just every now and then when you have extra time, doing things that you maybe wouldn't normally, but you want to experience as much as you can while you're here, while you can. It could also be remembering a specific goal that you have or did have in the past. And thinking about your emotions and intentions related to that goal. Do you still have the same intentions? Do you still want to achieve this thing out of love? Or is it for something else? Because you think you have to? Because somebody else has it? Because you want to show that you're capable of it? These are all motivators and they are intentions, but are they the right one? And then lastly, the thought of just one person can't make a difference. You can, because even with small gestures, you influence other people's lives, and they go on to influence other people's lives. If you're kind to 3 people at work every day, and then it brightens their day, and then they are kind to 3 people each, and then those people are kind to 3 people each, and it continues and it continues. Suddenly everyone has had a nice interaction with somebody. It spreads very easily. Although it might not seem that one small goal, or one small thought, one small passion could make a difference in your life, it can. Wanting to be out in nature more doesn't mean you need to start with walking for hours and hours a day. It could start with one 10-minute walk, and that helps you to feel motivated and encouraged, and you feel better, and so then you want to go on another walk and another, and you keep increasing. You know, you don't have to get to your end goal immediately. The little steps along the way make a difference to you achieving that goal or to improving your life. Number 6 is, what does metamorphosis mean to me? So this is Anise, number 25. We see very thin stems that lead to clusters of flowers, also on long little stems. These flowers are kind of bluey purple, and they're very small. And this card says, learn to trust life. The key words are basic trust. Chinese star anise symbolizes good luck and fortune. It is also used to remove the evil eye. Its essential oil has a powerful and spicy aroma. Anise can also be used to connect with the energy of the earth, to understand and appreciate the different flavors of life. Anise stars are also used for spiritual protection and purification. In herbal medicine, it is used to release a cough. Anise can also protect you from nightmares. It can also be used to cleanse a space. Japanese anise stars are similar to Chinese ones. However, they are not edible. They can cause many side effects, ranging from upset stomach to hallucinations. Anise has antiviral properties. It is used as a home remedy for cold and flu. Anise is also used to improve psychic ability and divine the messages from higher forces. If you've been feeling a little anxious lately, the message of this card is that you don't have to be afraid. Anise wants to remind you that you are allowed to fully surrender to your life at any time. Strengthen your basic trust in yourself and your body through guided meditations and positive affirmations. You have nothing to worry about. In Buddhism, anise stars represent the Eightfold Path. It is also burnt for cleansing a spiritual altar. In India, anise garlands are hung on doors to protect the house from negativity. say you should or shouldn't do. Really, you're the only one who knows what's best for you. And so, having that trust in yourself and kind of taking back that control, not just letting others control your life or influence your life to such a high degree that they have more influence than you do. That could be the metamorphosis. It could also be knowing that you do not need to be afraid. You have nothing to worry about. It could also be tied to strengthening your basic trust in yourself and your body. And that every time you really focus on that, you go through a metamorphosis. The strengthened trust in yourself and your body. Number 7. Just what can I uncoil and free? But really tying back into the serpent aspect of the spread and also the shape of the spread. So to cast them, kind of like a snake uncoiling itself. So we started with one in the centre, and then we're kind of moving around in a loosening spiral. So what can I uncoil and free? So this is Daisy, number 12. So, near the base of the plant, there are many, many leaves that are quite long and slender at first, and then become more round near the end. We have little flowers with white petals and a yellow centre. This is slow progress. It's still progress. The key words are slow down. Daisy is the perfect symbol of childhood and the innocence of a child. When we were young, we never held grudges. We would forgive people as easily as we got mad at them. What can you do to awaken the childlike innocence in you again? Forgiveness doesn't come easily. It doesn't need to. You don't have to be high vibe to forgive, especially if you've been through a traumatic situation. Forgiveness comes from a place of non-judgment, knowing that we all make mistakes, and setting expectations for people based on their past behaviour. People can change, but they usually don't. It either takes psychological support or a life-changing event for people to want to change their behaviour. If you've been struggling to forgive someone, please don't rush the process. Allow it to happen naturally. assess your behaviour or ask for help to figure out what made you do what you now regret. Don't just blame the other person. Own your mistakes so you can empower yourself to make better choices in the future. Daisies also symbolise love and the balance of feminine and masculine energy. It's a perfect gift for a romantic partner. Daisies are also used in folklore medicine to treat skin problems, injuries, and contusions. If you are asking about a project, the message is that you need to understand progress is not how you become successful. Progress is success itself. Stop worrying. Just because you aren't where you want to be, it doesn't mean that you're not progressing. Slow progress is still progress. You'll get there. It'll just take some time. So what can I uncoil and set free could be about forgiveness, either of somebody else or of yourself. Sometimes when you've been hurt by someone, or someone's done something wrong, or you feel like you've done something wrong, done something you regret, it kind of can feel like a tight ball or like a knot in you. But over time, as you think about this situation, just going about your daily life, as you may talk about it with other people, it can slowly unwind, slowly uncoil itself. And eventually, you may get to the point that it is uncoiled enough that you can forgive this person or yourself. So that could be that kind of uncoiling that you need to be patient and wait, and eventually you will be able to forgive. Or it could also be about uncoiling that constant thought of you need to be working, you need to be making quick progress, and after the progress is done, when you reach the end, that is what success is. It isn't. It's like it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. You could apply that to this as well. It's not about the end product. It's about the progress you took along the way to get there, the new skills you learned, the new perspectives you've gained, things like that. That's the success, not just that final goal, that final thing at the end. So it could be about uncoiling that kind of thought that gets pushed onto us. What message does the serpent whisper in my ear? So this is Eyebright, number 28. This one is very interesting. It does have like one longer main stem with smaller stems coming off of it. It has many, many leaves, almost appearing as pairs, or slightly offset pairs on like each side of the stem. And the leaves are quite long and thin. key word here is acceptance. According to a Greek legend, a bird first used Eyebright to clear the eyes of its young ones. This knowledge was later passed on to human beings. As its name suggests, Eyebright is used as a herbal medicine for all types of eye ailments. Spiritually, Eyebright helps us to see what our eyes can't normally see. Eyebright can also be used by psychics to enhance clairvoyance. There is something in your life that you are not seeing, a hidden enemy, a secret crush, or a lie. It isn't necessarily a bad thing. Trust your intuition to know the truth of this matter. The first thing you need to do is to let go of your expectations. Meditate and ask your guides to help you see the truth. Again, the situation is not necessarily bad. Another use of Eyebright is to induce prophetic visions. Hold this herb in your hands for 15 minutes before you go to sleep. Play some relaxing music and take some deep breaths. Put these flowers under your pillow when you go to sleep. Eyebright is also an excellent spiritual tool to detect deception. How you use this herb is up to you. Furthermore, it also helps you discover the truths that you have buried deep in your heart. How long are you planning to hide it from yourself? So, we could talk first about the disconnect to reconnect, because that's not really talked about in the description. But that's true. The classic I think people think of a lot right now is disconnecting from your phone, disconnecting from technology, and reconnecting with people in person and with the nature around you. So that could be one meaning. Or the other one is this. There's something in your life that you're not seeing, and it is not necessarily a bad thing. I think even the question that's posed by the spread, what does the serpent whisper in my ear? It sounds a little bit negative. I think that snakes kind of get a lot of a bad rep. They kind of have poor connotations with things that are evil or bad. But we know that that's not what the spread is asking us. It's not like a devil whispering in our ear, because this is the snake, the serpent that's going to tell us how the spring is going to come, if it's going to be an early spring, like the old Scottish tradition. It's not a devil whispering in our ear. It is someone. It is something helpful. So I think the same can just be applied straight to this. There's something that you're not seeing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be an opportunity that you're not quite seeing. It could be a talent that you are kind of looking at as, oh, it's not that good. Or a skill, a talent or skill that you're downplaying when it shouldn't be. Something like that. Or it could be this last little sentence that's at the end here about the truths that you have buried deep in your heart, and how long are you planning to hide it from yourself. Again, not necessarily bad, but this serpent could be asking you that. How long are you planning to hide this from yourself, when you should be accepting it, when you should be acknowledging it? something in this reading resonated with